Master of the Looper, Bobby Fiebers. Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. And I'm not Reverend Teresa Fiebers. I think you've probably figured that out already. My name is Emile Govreau. I am a reverend and delighted to be here. People say, how are you feeling? And I say, excited, because I do enjoy being here. So, and getting to hold a mic or have a wireless and speak. So this is a happy space. So we are here in this beautiful space, surrounded by nature, surrounded by all of this wonderful paradise that we have. And we have exciting things going on. If you're here for the first time, welcome, and hopefully we will enlighten and open a new path of understanding for your spiritual life. And know that for those of you that have been here a while, it seems like there's always something new. I listen to Teresa every week, and I'm thinking, well, I've been around this for 30 years or so. And she says something, and it's like, I never thought of it that way before. I never had the idea that that's the way it works. So looking for new awarenesses and new aha moments, as we call them. So we just take a moment to center ourselves in this awareness that there is Spirit all around us, flowing in through and as each one of us, knowing that as we come together in this space, we are bringing Spirit together with us. We bring that energetic, we bring that power and presence, and knowing that that power for good is flowing through each one of us and flows out into the universe from us as individuals and a collective community. And knowing that as we include our online viewers, knowing that every week there's a dedicated group of folks listening and watching to what we're doing here, knowing that we create an expanded awareness of Spirit in our world. So I'm grateful to be here, grateful to speak this word, grateful to know that all of you are here to join with us this morning in this celebration. And so it is. And with us this morning is Emile Frost. Are you using a new married name yet? You are? Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay. I said it and then asked, but anyway, Emile Frost.
Thank you. All right. So who knows Bill Withers? Oh, yeah. So I'm going to sing Lovely Day. That is very, well, it's okay. Does anyone have perfect pitch? Let me just grab my tuner real quick. But there's this part in Lovely Day where it's like, lovely day, lovely day. I thought maybe you guys could help me with that part. But I just wanted to tune this up. So I'll talk about myself real quick as I tune this. So my name's Emile Frost, and I've been a musician in the area for like 8 or 9 years now, which is very exciting. I make a living at different gigs around town, like restaurants, and I play at Art Ovation Hotel every Saturday night. Okay, cool. And yeah, so I'm excited to be here today. I'm also a songwriter, so I'm going to sing some songs that I wrote as well. But here's a cover right now. When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eyes. Well, my string broke. What if we could do it a cappella, or I could also I could do it without the string. Here we go. When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eyes, then I look at you. No, I can't. And the world's all right with me. Oh, just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be, oh, a lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, a lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day. When the day that lies ahead of me seems impossible to dream, when someone else instead of me always seems to know the way, then I look at you, and the world's all right with me. Oh, just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day, 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 a lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day. All right. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to go change my string, and I will be right back. Can I unplug this? Is that cool? Okay, we're good. It's down, right? Okay, we're good. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm going to change my string.
All right. Thank you, Emily. She's very flexible, very flexible. And so cute. She's so cute. Today's topic is vulnerability, letting go, letting in. And we all know that in order to let some new things in, we have to let go. And the topic is so interesting to me today, especially because I've been doing a lot of that lately, going through every closet and garage, and the two people back at the tech table have been helping me. And I need help because I have trouble letting go. But I figure letting go works even if you have help, right? Yeah, it must. So I have a poem here written by Dr. Ernest Holmes and Reverend Sapphire Rose. And the title is She Let Go. Without a thought or a word, she let go. She let go of fear. She let go of judgments. She let go of the confluence of opinions swarming around her head. She let go of the committee of indecision within her. She let go of all the right reasons. Wholly and completely, without hesitation or worry, she just let go. She didn't ask anyone for advice. She didn't read a book on how to let go. She just let go. She let go of all the memories that held her back. She let go of all the anxiety that kept her from moving forward. She let go of the planning and all of the calculations about how to do it just right. She didn't promise to let go. She didn't journal about it. She didn't write the projected date in her date timer. She made no public announcement. She didn't check the weather report or read her daily horoscope. She just let go. She didn't analyze whether she should let go. She didn't call her friends to discuss the matter. She didn't utter one word. She just let go. No one was around when it happened. There was no applause or congratulations. No one thanked her or praised her. No one noticed a thing. Like a leaf falling from a tree, she just let go. There was no effort. There was no struggle. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was what it was, and it is just that. In the space of letting go, she let it all be. A small smile came over her face. A light breeze blew through her, and the sun and the moon shone forevermore. That's pretty good. I like that. And this is the last letter that Steve Jobs wrote about the ultimate letting go of one's life. I really love this. I hope many of you have probably read it or seen it. I reached the pinnacle of success in the business world. In some others' eyes, my life is the epitome of success. However, aside from work, I have joy. In the end, my wealth is only a fact of life that I am accustomed to. At this moment, lying in my bed and recalling my life, I realize that all the recognition and wealth that I took so much pride in have paled and become meaningless in the face of my death. You can employ someone to drive the car for you, make money for you, but you cannot have someone bear your sickness for you. Material things lost can be found or replaced, but there is one thing that can never be found when it's lost: life. Whichever stage in life you're in right now, with time, you will face the day when the curtain comes down. Treasure love for your family, love for your spouse, love for your friends. Treat yourself well and cherish others. As we grow older and hopefully wiser, we realize that a $300 or $30 watch both tell the same time. You will realize that your true inner happiness does not come from material things. Whether you fly first class or economy, if the plane goes down, you go down with it. Therefore, I hope you realize when you have mates, old friends, brothers and sisters whom you chat with, laugh with, talk with, have sung songs with, that is true happiness. Don't educate your children to be rich. Educate them to be happy, so when they grow up, they will know the value of things and not the price. Eat your food as your medicine, otherwise you have to eat medicine as your food. The one who loves you will never leave you, even if there are 100 reasons to give up. He or she will find a reason to hold on. There's a huge difference between a human being and being human. Only a few really understand it. You are loved when you are born. You will be loved when you die. In between, you have to manage. The 6 best doctors in the world are sunlight, rest, exercise, diet, self-confidence, and your friends. Maintain them in all stages and enjoy a healthy life. Thank you.
Yay. Florida humidity, Florida heat, many factors. Okay, but I'm so grateful I had another string. So grateful. Okay. So this is a song about letting go. This is a song that I wrote. This one's called The Letter, and I wrote it originally because I needed to let go of a friend. Me and this friend, we were just too toxic together. It was an ex-boyfriend, and so it's a song about letting go of someone that no longer serves you, but I think that this song could be about anything that no longer serves you, so this one's called The Letter. I'm a slave to this current, it goes rushing into me, and I cannot stop the steps that are circling. I'm the dime you've been saving, I'm the misguided excuse, hoping one day for some change, I'll be of better use to you. One more time, I'll write it down to say 'Cause if these cycles multiply to wasted time, then why are we still standing in the cages we create, on the pedestal engraved, entitled friends who have it made? And with time it gets harder, 'cause I've seen so much of you, all the phases we've been through. We're two people we once knew. One more time I'll write it down to say goodbye, 'cause we can't seem to stop these waves that multiply. So take these words I'm writing, since you refuse to see the way you've treated me. 'Cause if you're standing by me, then we'll never stop the spin, and the current will begin. How did I? One more time I'll write it down to say goodbye. 'Cause we can't seem to stop these waves that multiply. Now, Reverend Emile, thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Hector ran over and said, Emily's going to need a couple more minutes, so I had to let go of my plan. There's all sorts of letting go, isn't there? Just, we have an idea of how things should go, and then should doesn't really happen the way we thought it should, right? I went to a conference once where they said we need to stop shoulding on ourselves. So I found out I was going to speak on Tuesday. And so I'm going to say this whole week, this whole process has been a demonstration of vulnerability. First, Teresa saying, I'm really exhausted. I need a day to rest, to go to the beach, to just collect myself. She's been working hard on planning this ordination celebration and the Shine event next Sunday. And she said, would you be able to speak? If not, I could get somebody else. And of course, I said yes immediately, because I feel that's one of the ways that I can serve here, and I can serve Teresa in her work. And then I was thinking about, then she said, oh, it's about vulnerability. I thought, uh-oh, what do I know about that? I've been told that I'm not very vulnerable, and I'm like, okay. And then I remembered, two things happened. One, I remembered Brené Brown and her writings on vulnerability. And the second thing is, every Thursday morning I have a group, and we've been working with Ernest Holmes, this thing called You. And I started to think about what that spiritual path is like, what this path that religious science takes us on, out of the duality of God and me, God somewhere off, somewhere else, and God within, God expressing in, through, and as each one of us in that flow, and so forth, and realizing that was a letting go. That's a vulnerable place to be, because if we get out of the place of sort of begging and beseeching something that's off planet, so to speak, and start to understand that we have the power within us, now we have a certain responsibility to ourselves. We have a certain direction to walk in. So it came to me as the group was talking on Thursday morning that being on a spiritual path, especially this science of mind, religious science spiritual path, is a place of vulnerability. Some of us, I've had congregants when I was down in Cape Coral. The property down there, if you haven't been down there, is a square, and immediately to the north is a Baptist church. So we have Gulf Coast Baptist Church down there, and then right next door is the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. And one of my congregants, who later became a board member, his mother attended the Baptist church and prayed every Sunday that her son wasn't going to hell. Because she just knew, because he wasn't believing the way she was believing, that he was in deep trouble. So he was vulnerable every Sunday, just in his family and in his family life. So I went to Brené Brown, and it's this book called Rising Strong. And I was like, okay, I know part of the book was about vulnerability. Well, of course, the very first chapter is called The Physics of Vulnerability. And she's got like 9 steps and so on. And the essence, hold on. It's hard to hold a book and a microphone at the same time. So part of what she says is vulnerability is not winning or losing. It's having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcome. It's having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcome. How often do we actually control the outcome of something? I learned early on on my path that this idea of control, or even being a control freak, was extremely elusive. That I can't control what any one of you are thinking. You know, whatever's going on in your heads is going on in your heads, and I have no business even wondering about it, let alone trying to control it. Then she says, if we are brave enough, often enough, we will fall. This is the physics of vulnerability. If we are brave enough, often enough, we will fall. This is the physics of vulnerability. And she goes on to talk about, if we're vulnerable, then it's a matter of putting ourselves out there. And if we do fail, it's a nasty word. We don't like to hear that word. The real key, and I can't remember if it's Henry Ford or whoever says the key is whether you get back up again. Do you get back up and try again? Adjust, do whatever you need to do, and step forward again. That's the letting in part, I think. So we let things go, we let things in. We're constantly in a flow of moving. And yes, Angelica, whether other people are helping you, you're still releasing your stuff. So we move into this space, and so we're on this spiritual path, whatever that looks like for each one of us, and we're letting go of things that we understood or thought we knew from before, and taking on new stuff and new understanding and expanding our understanding and stepping into a space that's bigger than what we were in before. Because I don't think when we walk on this spiritual path, any spiritual path, we're getting smaller. And when you read the authors, and most of them wind up, if you follow them for years and years and years, reach a level of close to, if not being mystical in their writings, they move more and more to this idea out of the duality of God somewhere else, and it's the God within. It's the God that's expressing within. And I can't remember all the words that Reverends Melissa and Z used last week about when they said they used the word God. They were not talking about an off-world God. They were talking about the God within. And that's where we are. That's what I think we like to call it spirit. We like to think about it as a universal. We like to think about something that is bigger than us, that we are part of. And in that path, I was confirmed because at the end of this hold on. At the end of the physics of vulnerability, Brene Brown says, rising strong is a spiritual practice. I said, oh my goodness, I knew that before I read it again. Getting back on our feet does not require religion, theology, or doctrine. However, without exception, the concept of spirituality emerged from the data as a critical component of resilience and overcoming struggle. I crafted this definition of spirituality based on the data I've collected over the past decade. Spirituality is recognizing and celebrating that we are all inextricably connected to one another by a power greater than all of us, and that our connection to that power and to one another is grounded in love and belonging. Practicing spirituality brings a sense of perspective, meaning, and purpose to our lives. Sounded to me like she was reading from Ernest Holmes. You know, Ernest Holmes, you know that thing about you had me at hello? Ernest Holmes had me literally at the first sentence of the Science of Mind book, because he said, there will come a day when science and religion will walk hand in hand. And having been in a lot of science classes, it just took me to like a click, one of those, my wife calls them thunks, you know, where it just drops in place and you know, that makes sense to me. So we're on a spiritual path, wherever you are on your spiritual path. I used to say in the warm-up in Cape Coral, wherever you are on your spiritual path, you're welcome here. Because we're all growing and moving. We're all understanding more or less. We're all having struggles with some aspect of what it is we're learning. And as we expand into a greater understanding, there's always that next thing to understand. That causes questions, makes us wonder whether we're thinking the right thing, whether we're, of course, sometimes we think a little too much. Been there, done that. But it's the knowing of what is going on. And then that vulnerability of turning things over. There's one of my favorite chants from Ricky Byers, the underlying lyric is, open your heart, let the Lord have its own way. Well, that was a mantra I used in meditation quite a bit, and still do from time to time. But you think about it, open your heart and let the Lord have its own way. That's the ultimate vulnerability. I'm turning it over, and I'm going to go with whatever this flow is. Now, we do move in a direction. You know, with spiritual mind treatment, we've probably all heard the expression, treat and move your feet. So, you know, if you're praying for something to happen, it's not going to happen if we just sit in the same corner in the same chair and not somehow physically move in the direction of that thing. You know, Henry David Thoreau said, paraphrase, you know, if we move steadfastly in the direction of. So we think we want something. It's not going to necessarily show up exactly like we think we want it, but if we keep moving ourselves in the direction of it and holding that thought, what Ernest Holmes would call a mental equivalent, a visual, internal visual picture of that thing, and move in the direction of it, we will see an expression of it in form. Oh, yes. Everything is created twice, once in the mental picture and the other one is in form. So somehow that idea has to go from the mental image into the physical image. You know, we look at what's happening around us, the technology changes, the expansion of our universe, even every moment it seems like. You know, every day you pick up the news or watch the news. I mean, just the number of outlets we have for hearing information, for receiving information. The group that I have breakfast with every Saturday was talking about the days we had encyclopedias. Has anybody looked in an encyclopedia recently? Gone to the library, gotten out one of those? It seemed like those books always weighed about 25 pounds, and the print was smaller than what you see in the Bible, and the paper was that fine paper. And you were looking stuff up, and it was like, oh, the thing I'm looking up isn't here. It's not, you know, I'm going, you know, I'm looking for LAU, and it goes from LAP to S, Q, whatever, somewhere else. It's not going to LAU. It's not going there. I'm not able to find this thing. Now what? Today, we just type it in on the thing, and decide which search engine is going to work for us. Is it Google or Bing or DuckDuckGo or, how many of those are there? So part of this path and part of that vulnerability is letting go of our attachments to the things, releasing the things. Are the things really important? I love the line, a $300 watch and a $30 watch both tell the same time. We used to have horses, and my wife lost her Timex watch. It was a pretty watch, but and it was practical, and we didn't know where she lost it. And probably at least a year later, I was mucking out a stall, which isn't pretty, and brought the pitchfork up, and there was the watch. And it was still working. It was still working, and it was probably a less than $30 watch. I'm sure it was at the time. It was like, okay, so years after that, somebody had lost, we were traveling with a group, and we were in Ghana, and one of the ladies, Alyssa must have been 80 at the time, silver braids, one of those. Did you see the Matrix movies? She reminded me of the Oracle. And she had that kind of wisdom, she would just sort of tap you and say, "It's okay, baby." And she was Michael Beckwith's personal practitioner, if you wonder where the consciousness was. Anyway, so her bag was missing. And we said, "Well, what can we do? Alyssa, what can we do to help me?" All these people wanted to help her. She says, "Nothing's lost in God." And we saw her at dinner, and said, "Well, have you heard anything?" "Oh, yeah, it showed up at my door." It's like nothing is lost. It was a surrender. To me, that's a surrender. That's a letting go. Again, a place of, I'm not going to get all bound up in an energy that I can't control. So when we're vulnerable, where are we? We're not weak. We're not weak. We're taking a stand for ourselves. We're taking a stand for the life that we're living or that we want to live. If we're doing something new, we're doing something that requires us to step out of the box that we've had ourselves in. And that's vulnerable. Maybe it's as simple as wearing a color you've never worn before, or getting a new hairstyle, or I don't know, what might feel like an outlandish dress or shirt or suit or whatever it is, or pair of shoes. There's a what will people think of me factor. I think we all have. I know I do, so I don't think I'm that much different than everybody else. And we're vulnerable for that moment. Do you ever go to a costume party and you wear a mask? Do you ever find yourself where you forget that you really have the mask on and you're doing like maybe goofier stuff than you might have done if you didn't have your mask on, because maybe nobody knew who you were behind the mask? What if we're all wearing a mask? The joke out there, the book from maybe the mid-90s was, Imagine Them All Naked. It was about public speaking, and seeing your audience naked. I think that would be more distracting than relieving, but for myself. But, that's just me. So, but what is it that we worry about? Again, I can't control what anybody's thinking. You walk into a crowded place, you're not going to control what people are thinking. They're probably spending more time worrying about what you're thinking about them than thinking about whatever it is you're doing. Because we get caught up in that. What will people think? What will people think if I step out and do that? What if people think if I quit my job and go and do a new and different career? What will people think? Well, who cares? Because it's what we think. And that's the letting in the power that we have for ourselves, letting in the strength that each one of us has so we can step into that space and keep stepping into it. And sure, we're going to stumble. Sometimes we might actually fall. Excuse me. But the idea is that we keep moving forward. We keep moving into a larger space. We expand ourselves. We grow into that space. I always hearken back to, I had this wonderful little CD. It was called Live Again, and it was excerpts of tapes of Ernest Holmes' talks from when he had his radio show in the late 1940s, early 1950s. And his voice echoes in my mind regularly. There's a power for good in the universe, and you can use it. There's a power for good in the universe, and you can use it. And you know, in that same talk, he says something, you know, the thing that we're looking for, we're looking through. You know, so if we're looking for that spiritual activity, well, we're looking through a spiritual activity. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. If we go back to Meister Eckhart, who was writing in the 14th or 15th century, you know, the mystics of the world have been with us virtually forever, at least for that we can document in terms of written histories. So it's not new to anyone that's speaking today. I always loved that Michael Beckwith talked about it as new thought, ancient wisdom. So we're a new thought movement, a new way of looking at the whole Christianity experience, and a new way of looking at religion in our day. But it's old wisdom. It's been around. It's been around. So we look within. We open our hearts. We open our hearts, because the open heart is that place of vulnerability. That open heart, and let the spirit, let the universe, let that flow and that movement and that energy move through us and expand us in every moment. That's where we're moving. That's where we let it in. And we let out that idea, that expression of ourselves, that full expression of ourselves. And I think we've probably all had some kind of workshop where we talked about authenticity, but I think that's our authentic place, where we're allowing that in, allowing it to expand as us in that moment and grow us and expand us into what we were meant to be. And I always like to end with a prayer, so I'm going to do that. So join with me, and if you're comfortable, hold the hand of the person next to you. And just know with me that one power, that one presence, that activity of spirit is flowing and moving in through and as you and everyone else right here and right now, that we are joined together in this infinite space of oneness, this wholeness, this perfection, and each one of us is whole, perfect, complete, right where we are. And that essence of wholeness is the truth of our being, that essence of perfection, that essence of health, of beauty, of love, flows from the core of each of our beings and lifts us in every moment. So I know that as we move forward from this space, move forward in this day, move forward in our lives, that we are expanded in this awareness, knowing that it is all good all the time, that we are simply using and flowing with that infinite movement of the universe as us. So I am grateful to know this, grateful to speak it into this space. And I release this into the law, knowing that it is already done. And so it is. Peace and blessings, and Emile Frost.
Okay, thank you for being patient. All right. I'm going to sing a song called Precious Light. I wasn't going to sing this, but then Reverend Emile's talk made me want to sing this one. But this is about how we all have a special light within us. And because I'm always looking for others, I'm like, what should I do? Should I do this? Am I doing this right? Is this good? Is this good? And it's like, just listen to yourself. What do you think? Because maybe I already know the answer. And so, yeah, this is called Precious Light. I've been staring outside for quite a while, hoping that you will see a part of me. I ask everyone to be my guide, tell me who I should be. Am I right? But this precious light that I hold inside, it's for me to find. It's with me tonight. And this precious light can give us warning signs, show the path that's right, be a darkness guide. I'm breathing out, away from the crowd, away from this trying to be liked. I need to breathe in so I can begin to finally liberate, not be afraid. 'Cause I've spent most of my life confused, 'cause I'm looking to find the peace in the ones I need. But I find most of my thoughts were never mine, and the darkness speaks, blinding me. Oh, la-di-da-di-oh, la-di-da-di-oh. Yeah, this precious light that I hold inside, well, it's for me to find. It's with me tonight. And this precious light can give us warning signs, show the path that's right, be a darkness guide. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. That was beautiful. Beautiful song. Hello, everybody. Good morning. My name is Sean Scanlon. I'm a licensed practitioner here. I joined the center when we integrated CSL Sarasota. And now this is the time of the service where we get to give, the opportunity for the offering, where we are spiritually fed and allow the law of circulation work for us intentionally. The book of Matthew states this law simply as, freely you have received, freely give. And in the spirit here today of letting go, I just wanted to read a little passage here from Dennis Merritt Jones's book, The Art of Abundance, a book that had a big, profound effect upon me. And he says this: herein lies the paradox. If you want more of whatever it is you desire, you have to first prove to the universe that you are capable of having it by developing a consciousness that affirms there is no shortage of it. The only way to do this is by creating a vacuum or space for it to be received. And the only way you can create a space for it to be received is by letting go of what you do have, trusting that the universe knows what it is doing. That's the law of circulation in action. We'll be passing the baskets. For those of you who are watching online, there's information scrolling across your screen where you can write a check, you can donate on the website, you can pay by PayPal, you can even pay by text, you can set up automatic payments. There are numerous ways to give, all of which are for your good. So as we give, I just invite you to join me in knowing this truth with me. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to prosper, and bless. I joyously contribute to my spiritual center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And together we say, and so it is.
Thank you, Sean. Let's sing together. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on.
Thank you. Another point of vulnerability. If you want more, you have to let go of what you have. Create the vacuum. What a scary place to be. So, yeah, we can go, we can do another 20 minutes if you like. No. So next week is the big event. It's the celebration of Reverend Teresa's ordination, and that's going to happen between 11 and 12 or so. There's going to be several ministers who are going to be speaking, and we'll probably run over their allotted time, so we know it'll be more like or so. And then we have Shine, the music event, that will follow that, and I believe Emily is going to be providing music, and Matthew Frost, her beloved and betrothed, is also an amazing musician, and Eddie Watkins Jr., who we've heard before, for me, the ultimate bass man. Do you know Eddie Watkins' story? At 16, Eddie Watkins was invited to go on the road with a group called the Temptations back in the 60s. So, yeah, he's been around the music industry for a little bit. So, anyway, not too late. If you would like to sponsor the event, you can see Hector or me, and we're happy to receive the gifts. We've created the vacuum for it, so now and so how did we create the vacuum? Just as an example, by making commitments to spend money. We've created an empty space that needs to be filled. So that's a way of seeing circulation. Speaking of circulation, when I write the circulation column, which is 2-3 times a year, they send me 2 copies of the magazine. Well, yesterday I opened my mail and I had 2 copies of the magazine. But I wrote last month's column. And so I open it up and I look, and sure enough, there's my smiling face looking at me. And I started reading the article and I was like, did I write this? So what I'm going to say is, if I wrote it a while back. So we'll see. I've sent a message to Holly, who handles that column and placement. So in addition to all this, the big event next week, we have Monday evening meditation with Julie and Effie, and that's at, what time is that, Ethelyn? Okay. Okay. So 6:50 for discussion, 7 o'clock for the meditation. And on Wednesday evenings, Jim Grove is hosting the Spiritual Living Circle. I've got my group on Thursday morning. The newsletter comes out on Thursday, so read that so you know what's going on. It seems to be a bane for most churches, you know, that put out some kind of a newsletter, and people say, I didn't know that was happening. I didn't know that was happening. Well, it was been in the newsletter for the last 6 weeks, or I announced it from the stage for 3 weeks in a row or whatever. So it's where our minds go. You know, we're not always in a listening space. I'm as guilty as the next one about that. And Sean is our practitioner of the day, and he'll be offering spiritual mind treatment over there privately behind the screen, as well as others here, Bobby, myself, Ethelyn, who else we got? Yes, raise your hands. It's our spiritual. Kathleen, yes. I'm sorry. So, we get to have another song from Emily. I was amazed how quickly you got that string changed. That's where, you know, in the pros, you know, the roadie runs up with and hands the guitar, and there's a quick change, but
Yeah, I was.
we don't have that.
I had some adrenaline at the
There
moment.
you go.
I did. Okay, cool. So when I sing my songs, I'm very conscious of the fact that I'm always closing my eyes. I'm like, you should open your eyes more. But it's just so vulnerable, and I just find that I can focus more when I close my eyes. But even though my eyes are closed, I can still feel the company of love that is around me. And so this is, from all of you, I can feel the love. And maybe that's why I close my eyes, because sometimes my sight can deceive me. Because I'm like, oh, they're making this facial expression. That's got to mean this. But really, you don't know what someone's thinking. But yeah, this is called Company of Love, and it's for all of you. And this is a song I wrote, and I provided some albums, and if you're interested, I sell them for $10. And I also have EmilyFrostMusic.com. I just made it this week, and so that's exciting. So Emily Frost Music, thank you. EmilyFrostMusic.com. Right now, it's still a work in progress, but you can find my album on there and some videos. And then tonight, I'm going to add all of my shows of where I'm going to be. I play like 3 or 4 times a week, and so all of my shows will be on there. So if you want to come see me, that'll be fun. Living my life only thinking people I see are for a reason. Why would I need to change my mind? Find people that give you freedom, give them time and words of feeling. How could I live without mankind? I've got a company of love. I feel a company of love. has been. Why can't we all just live beside? Find people that give you freedom, give them time and words of feeling. How could I live without mankind? I got a company, a company, a company, a company of love. I feel a company, a company, a company, a company of love. Hi, 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 company, a company, a company, a company of love. Thank you.